Okay. Okay. Okay, I'm finished. So let's start. Okay. And for the terminal JS for PC, there have. Okay. Is any questions?
Perdón, si tiene algunas preguntas, ya esta profesora ya puede empezar su capacitación porque antes si alguna persona tiene problema después de la capacitación puede hacer preguntas, ¿vale? Ok, gracias.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and in the terminal JS for PC, we have the series of the SuperMap I objects and SuperMap iDesktop. So today we will introduce the SuperMap iDesktop. And for the terminal JS for the browser, and we will introduce the series of the software, the SuperMap iClient, and the terminal JS for mobile. We have the series of the mobile software. So we will introduce this software in detail. Okay. Okay, first, let me introduce you the SuperMap iDesktop and iDesktop X. Okay. Okay, so when we talk about the desktop, you might ask these questions. What is the desktop JS platform and what can the desktop JS platform do? Okay, so first question, what is the desktop JS platform? Okay, and it's a spatial data production tool. And if we have a series of spatial data, and we can browse, display, and even do some spatial analysis of this data on this platform, and to mine the value of this data. That is, it's also the data mining platform. Okay, and it can use the 2-dimensional and 3-dimensional integrated JS application platform. So it's a 2D and the 3D integrated platform. Okay, and it's also the desktop JS development platform. Okay, let's take a look at what desktop JS can do. It can be used as a tool for building, managing, and processing spatial data, or analysis and query as a JS application. And according to the needs of the individual industries, it can also customize the interface and expand the business functions to become a JS application system and suitable for a certain industry. And so, first of all, iDesktop can be used for the spatial data acquisition and processing. And it can convert some original data files with the latitude and longitude and into the point, line, and region, and to make the map. Okay, and then spatial data can be stored in the desktop in different ways, not only in the field formats unique to SuperMap, but also in the international database and web map surveys such as Google Map, the OGC surveys, and ResMap, and so on. So as mentioned earlier, a desktop can obtain data and store data. It can also process data from the multiple source to become the usable data. Okay, from multiple source to become a desktop provides the rich data processing abilities to facilitate the data production for business requests, such as extract the main center line or the merge or the topology processing and blah 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 and so on. Yeah, and at the same time, my desktop can be used as a GIS application system to query and analysis data. And these analyses are also the method often used in spatial data processing. Okay, includes the vector data analysis and the raster data analysis and so many functions we can use in iDesktop. Okay, next, after we processing the data, and iDesktop also supports that the use of various ways to display the spatial data, such as we can use the rainfall map, okay, to display the rainfall, and we can use the terrain image map to display the characteristics of the terrain, and so many map to display the spatial data information. Okay, iDesktop not only supports the two-dimensional map representation, but also supports the 3D visualizations. And through the interactive operation of the platform, we can use the simulated 3D model to load various types of the data to achieve the 3D browsing. Okay, and as a desktop GIS development platform, and it enables you to customize the interface, and it can develop your own business models based on the existing desktop GIS platform to customize your own desktop GIS application platform. Okay, and they also have an okay. There have another platform software, the iDesktop X, the comprehensive and proportional new desktop products. And the common point of these two desktop software is to provide a friendly and easy to use tool for the production, processing, and analysis of the spatial data. And the difference is that one is based on the .NET framework, and one is based on the Java. Okay, and iDesktop X is a cross-platform software. Okay, and next, we will introduce the SuperMap iObjects. The SuperMap iObjects series of products are the development client on the PC terminal, and it corresponds to the ArcGIS engine and ArcObjects. And it mainly includes the 5 products. Okay, the first 3 products, the SuperMap iObjects Java, .NET, and C++, and among them, they are the for future development platform, and the difference is that the development language. Okay, one is Java and one is .NET and one is C++. And the text box on the right is some JS functions they can achieve, such as the graphic and attribute editing and topology processing and so on. Okay, and who needs the SuperMap objects? First is a desktop JS system. The iDesktop we introduced above is actually a set of CS system developed by the Research Institute developers and based on the components platform, and it package most of GIS processing functions into the desktop. And then the business database building system. As mentioned earlier, the desktop can be customized and extended according to the characteristics of the industry, and then use the rich functional interface of the components to realize and integrate into the desktop system. Okay, the first software of the SuperMap objects is SuperMap iObjects Python. It's oriented to the Python environment and provides a JS scripting language package to realize the storage, conversion, processing, analysis, and other capabilities of the spatial data. And it can store thousands of image data in the database through the SuperMap iObjects Python interface. And many users like to use this to complete this kind of batch data processing. Okay, next, the last component, SuperMap iObjects for Spark. Is to apply GIS through the distributed technology, and it's based on the distributed technology and provides the rich big data distributed and management and analysis functions. Okay, next we will introduce the SuperMap iServer. Okay, SuperMap iServer is the cloud GIS application server, and it's based on the high performance and cross-platform GIS core, and it provides the full featured GIS service, includes publishing and management and aggregation capabilities, and it supports the multi-level expansion and development. So, how iServer work? This is the simple workflow of the server, and the service is published through the iServer, and then through some application programming interface, such as the SuperMap iClient for JavaScript. And this software I will introduce you in the future. And the WebGIS application will receive this service and call this service for map browsing and spatial analysis. Okay, and for the SuperMap iServer, and I want to show you the page of the SuperMap iServer, and I have been started the SuperMap iServer. Okay, about the how to start the iServer, and I will introduce you in your Wednesday evening or Thursday morning. So this is a website of the SuperMap iServer, and we can click the manager and click the manage service instance. Okay, we can see the GIS service that we published. We can browse this map China 100 and view with the icon for leaflet. Okay, we can find that this is the service that we published through the SuperMap iServer. And okay, okay, and next I will introduce you the SuperMap iPortal. So, you might ask, what is the GIS portal? And the essence of so GIS portal is a website that gathers the content and people. Okay, in terms of the content, the GIS it includes various GIS resources, includes the maps, sign, data, and surveys, and so on. And in terms of the people, and it also has the user account system and the departmental organization system. So the SuperMap iPortal is a cloud GIS portal platform, and it's integrating the GIS resource integration and search, sharing, and management with the zero-code visual interface customized. And okay, here we can see it supports the zero-code building platform and web app, which is very convenient and simple. And here are some web apps it's support. And okay, at the same time, our product supports the multi-terminal adaptation, and it supports the computer terminal. It supports the computer terminal and mobile terminal, and which can be well displayed and applied. Okay, let's have a look at the page of the SuperMap iPortal. Okay, that is the index of the SuperMap iPortal. And we can see in the top of the tab, there have many web apps and let's see the data visualization. Okay, we can use this to create the map, and we can upload, and we can see the simple data or something else. Yes, so let's see the simple data. Okay, that's the iPortal's function. That's one of the iPortal's function, the map visualization. And let's see the next web apps, the data insights. Okay, let's see the simple data. Okay, this is the simple data of the data insight. Okay, this the data insight mining the data, mining the spatial data from the website, and For this part, the SuperMap app portal, I will introduce you in the Thursday night and our Friday morning. Okay, and I also want to introduce you the map dashboard, and this is a dashboard that we can. Okay, the service is not found. Let's see that dashboard. Real estate monitoring. Okay, we can see that is a map dashboard in the SuperMap app portal, and yes, this have so many models to mining the data, and yeah, we can do it with zero code, and it's really simple. Okay, next I will introduce you the SuperMap IH. Okay. SuperMap IH, and in the traditional Cloud GIS architecture model, and when end users directly connect to the Cloud GIS Center to a browse GIS service, and the response performance and reliability of the GIS service is poor due to the network delay effect and the limitation of the export bandwidth of the Cloud GIS Center. Okay, excuse me. And SuperMap IH, which is employed near the iClient or the data source side, and is to achieve nearby service publishing and real-time analysis and calculation. It's reduce the response latency and bandwidth, and its a consumption, and reduce the pressure of the Cloud GIS Center. So in the due to the SuperMap IH, and it can produce pressure of the Cloud GIS Center. So next, the SuperMap iClient. The SuperMap iClient series products are the development platform of the web client. And that is the service published by the SuperMap iServer, which is the GIS iServer is developed on this platform. And that is iServer uses the JavaScript to realize the dynamic effects of calling the published map service with the SuperMap iServer and displaying it to the front-end web. And that is displays the browser screen. So this is two-dimensional GIS development. Okay, so the second is the 3D GIS development. The 3D development iClient platform based on the WebGL, and which can be used to build the plugin-free and cross-operating systems and cross-browser 3D GIS application. And SuperMap iClient Python. is the SuperMap Cloud GIS Client Python SDK, means the software development kit. Yeah, and which package the REST API of the SuperMap iServer and SuperMap iPortal, and I manage iAge and online. So as to help the users call the function of the above products in the Python environment to realize the data analysis and scripting operation and maintenance. So this is a product that there are some the product the map JavaScript libraries products and docked by the SuperMap iServer. So we will introduce this in details when we talk about the SuperMap iClient JavaScript. Okay, this is some consequence in web map and web sign. And it also has some component library of the SuperMap iClient JavaScript, such as the sky map component. It's just like the Google Map component, and the chart component, the visualization component, and edge material component. So let's have a look the SuperMap iClient for JavaScript's the simple data of the iClient. Okay. In this website, iClient.supermap.io, and there have some simple data, the examples of for the leaflet, open layers, and mapbox.gl, such as this is a map JavaScript, the library. So for leaflet, let's have a look. Okay, this is the map service. They can realize some query and measurement, and some just like the okay. And this is the a semantic service. It's a semantic map, just like the unique map and grid unique map, or something else. And this is a spatial analysis service, and it can realize the buffer and the overlay, yeah, and so on. So okay, it can also realize the data flow service, and okay, let's take a look the visualization. It can realize some heat map and cluster, and it can dock the e-charts to realize some chart in the web front end. Okay, for example, let's take a look the heat map. This is the New York taxi car point. Okay, and earthquake heat map. The loading is slow, so maybe we waiting it. Okay, that is the New York taxi point. So that is the client to display some JS functions in the web front end. Okay, so that is the SuperMap iClient. Okay, next, the SuperMap iMobile. Okay, SuperMap iMobile. It has more intelligent collection capabilities based on the AI. Yeah, and this is the 9 key functions of the SuperMap iMobile. Um, for example, it can mapping in the mobile and also you do some semantic map in mobile, and it also can display the 3D sign and share online and navigation map. The indoor and outdoor navigation map, both of them they can do it, and the AR map and the data analysis and emergency plot. So this is the example of the AI-based attribute data collections. So first is it's the intelligent collection capabilities based on the AI, and it can identify the vehicles in photo. Yeah, it identifies the vehicles in photo and can directly identify and report illegally parked vehicles to the system. And the second is it can identify and identify the advertisement on the wall. This is some advertisement, and report it to the relevant personnel for cleaning up it. Okay, and the third is it's identify the messy items and proceed them after reporting and to keep the city tidy. So this is the AI-based attribute data collections. And it also can realize the convenient indoor measurement. This is the AR plus AI mapping based on the Vision Fusion interpret navigation positioning. So actually, the accuracy is not very high in this video. Okay, our first class, the SuperMap family and the SuperMap at desktop is finished, and okay, let's take a look. So this is the architecture of SuperMap GIS 10i, and let's look it again and to understand what this SuperMap software is. So first, the cloud GIS server. So the SuperMap iServer is the GIS server software, and the SuperMap iPortal is the portal of the GIS. So and the for the terminal GIS for PC, it has the series of the objects software and the SuperMap iDesktop software. And the terminal GIS for browser is a series software of the SuperMap iClient. And it is a development iClient to development client of the GIS, and it can use the GIS service published by the SuperMap iServer, and to development a dynamic website in the web front end. And this is the terminal JS for mobile. So today's our first class is finished, and let's have a rest in 10 minutes. Okay, in 10 minutes. Okay, 9:30. Okay, we will come back in 9:30 in our time. Okay, thank you.我们休息了，已经结束了。讲完了那个。11点，第2节课。iMobile 里面的。iMobile 也不是。我开始啦。开启视频吗？ Hey, hello everybody. Hey everybody, could you hear me? Okay, thank you. Hi. Hola. Okay, let's start it. And okay, in this class, I will introduce you the getting started with the SuperMap iDesktop. Okay, in this section, okay, let me check the record. Okay. Yeah. And this section mainly lets you familiarize the interface and function menu of the SuperMap iDesktop, and the organization and management of the spatial data in SuperMap GIS software. Okay, and SuperMap iDesktop provides a wealth of GIS functions, and which can satisfy conventional GIS and a requirement like data processing, data management, and the mapping and network analysis, and it also supports the plugin, the extension, and the secondary development. And the user can expand and develop the new functions as needed. Okay. And that is the SuperMap iDesktop interface. And okay, so everybody could start the SuperMap iDesktop. Okay, and let's take a look at the SuperMap iDesktop interface. Okay, let's start the SuperMap iDesktop 10i. Open this software and maybe we should waiting it. Okay, after we starting SuperMap iDesktop, okay, could everybody open the SuperMap iDesktop? Okay, and after we starting SuperMap iDesktop, and the application will open the Start tab by default. So where we can quickly open the data source and data sets in there in the Open Data tab. And there have some online maps includes the SuperMap Cloud Map and OpenStreetMap and Google Map and so on. Okay, and they are the simple data. Okay, and so we can have a look, take a look like this simple data. And there are some simple sign and project video you can view. Okay, in the upper left corner, and it's the quick access bar, where you can zoom in and zoom out of the map, and another button to control the map. And they also have the open the path and the help document. Okay, so and below it is the function area. It's the core function area, which is the ribbon style function area, and it have so many tabs. We can choose the GIS functions to do some operations. And there have the search bar, and if you can't find some functions, then you can search in this search bar. And this is the Workspace Manager. Okay, and where we can manage the workspace and data sets and so on. So here we can also see the data organization structure of the SuperMap. Includes workspace and data source and maps and so on. So this part will introduce you in the getting started PowerPoint. And there is a layer manager. So let's open the workspace and to take a look at the layer manager. Okay, I will open the data from the that is data. Okay, so I open the workspace, and this is the workspace, and if you right click the data site and add to the new map, and you can see the data in the map window. Okay, and there is a layer manager. Okay, and which manage the maps and the scene in the map window. So, so you can see a data site is in the map window and in the layer manager, and it has the layer to display. Okay, in the right, there has the catalog manager. And the work that we did not complete the day before, and it can be opened directly here in the next day. So when we have some work that we not complete, and the next day you can quickly open it in the catalog manager. So that's the page of the iDesktop. Oh, oh, they also have the output window and the task management, and you can see some result information in the output window and in this task management. So that's the interface of the SuperMap at desktop. Okay. Let's start it at the data structure of the SuperMap at desktop. So the data we obtain is organized and stored through the data organization structure. And so if you understand what the data structure is, and you can better manipulate and process the data. So the data organization structure mainly includes the workspace and the data source and map, layout, sign, and resource. Okay, we can see that the data organization of the SuperMap GIS is similar to a tree-like structure, which can be seen through the Workspace Manager on the interface of the SuperMap at desktop. We can see in the Workspace Manager, they're just like a tree-like structure. And the root node is a workspace, the US workspace, and they have some child node like the data source, maps, and layout, sign, and so on. Okay, and each workspace has the tree-like structure as shown in the figure below, the workspace manager, and in which the workspace corresponds to the root node. And it includes the data source, data site, and the data site is saved in the data source, and the map and layout, sign, and resource are saved in the workspace. Okay, so what is the workspace? The workspace is a work environment, and the workspace saves the results of the series of operations in the work environment, including the data source opened by the user and in the workspace. And they also can save the maps, layouts, and some resource. And it's okay, and workspace can be divided into the two tabs, the file workspace and the database workspace. Okay, the file workspace are stored in the form of the files, and SuperMap iDesktop file formats are the .smw and .sxw, and .smw is the default workspace file of the iDesktop series project, and .sxw provides the .xml format workspace files. So when we open the .sxw format and with Notepad, and we can easily obtain the text and information in the workspace, such as the data source, map, results, and so on, so that you can use this information to set other workspace, such as especially the style settings in the map, and we can use this format to set up. And the database workspace in it supports the storage in Oracle and Circle's SQL Server database and so on. OK, so 他们都有数据了哈，示范数据好，那个 email 发了 OK， so OK, so let's start at the data source. A data source consists of the various types of the data set and is a physical storage of the spatial data. And data sources are used to store the spatial data. And the data source, data source can be stored in files or the database. So therefore, data source can be divided into two categories, includes the file data source and the database data source. And the file data source named the UDB data source and stored in the in files with the suffix .udb and .udd and two files. And when we creating a new UDB data source, and two files will be generated at the same time. So the .udb file and .udd file. So, two file names are the same, and except for the suffix. And in addition to the spatial geometric information, GIS spatial data also contains the attribute information. And in file data source, .udb file mainly stores the spatial geometric information of spatial data, and .udd file stores the attribute information. So it also can store in the database data source. And it supports the Oracle and Circle server and so many international database. So on the right, there's the data source and data site. So we can see the data site is stored in the data source. So data set includes the image data size, and line data size, and polygon data size, and so on. So let me introduce you the data set. A data set is a collection of the data of the same type. So what does it mean? And So spatial data is an abstraction of the real world. So point-like objects in the real world are abstracted as point geometric objects. So the linear objects are abstracted as linear geometric objects. And the concept of the dataset is the same things are stored in a type of the dataset. For example, a point data set can only store the point geometric objects, and the line datasets can only store the line geometric objects. So the spatial data in a data source is organized into various types of the data set. That is, the data source is actually a data set collection. And it contains the multiple data sets of various types. So the data size includes so many types like the point data size and line data size and region data size. So how to see this type of data size? Let's take a look. So there has a question how to open the workspace. So we can we can find the tab, the Start tab, and there have the group of the workspace. And we can click the File button, and there we can find some workspace in the file. So this data is we just send you by the email. So if you don't have this data, you can tell us. Okay, so let's find the data. Okay. Let's find. Okay, and I will introduce you the import data format. So let's look at the start type and the group of the data processing, and there have the import data button, and there have the various of the data formats, and we can import. Just like the vector data includes the ArcGIS format and the GDB or a KML or a CD dataset or and so on. And there have the chart format and the three-dimensional format and raster format and so on. So there are so many types of the datasets, and we can import to the iDesktop. And in this part, I will have an exercise for you in the next class. And okay. And then next, let me introduce you the layers. And the layer is a visual display of the dataset. When we load the dataset into the map window for display, and a layer is created. And a layer helps display the objects in a dataset with appropriate styles in the map window. So a map consists of one or more layers. So let's take a look. What is the layer? And let's add the dataset into the window. So I will close this window and find the status R. So right click the dataset and find the add to new map. So we add to a dataset to a window, to a map window, and okay, and it with appropriate styles in the map window. So it is a blue style, and so I have a question: can we add to the dataset again in the map window? Okay, let's have a try. Okay, no, add to the current map. Okay, I add to this dataset again in the map window. So a dataset corresponds the multiple layers, but one layer just corresponds one dataset, and it's with appropriate color to display this dataset. So the datasets don't have some styles itself. It stores the styles in the layers. So okay, so a map, so a layer can be understood as a transparent mask in the map window, and the dataset does not store the styles. But it accepts the text and CAD datasets. So when we import the CAD datasets, and I will introduce this for you, the CAD datasets is stored. It stored the styles. Okay, a dataset can be added to one or more map windows multiple times with various styles. So okay, I just do it. I just do it for you. I add to the two datasets to the map window, and it with the various styles. And the layers and maps update with data changes in the dataset. So when we change the map style or the dataset style, and it will also change in the layers. And next, the map. When one or more datasets are given a certain display style and are displayed in the same map window, and they constitute a map. So when we add the dataset into the map window, and it becomes a layer. So the multiple layers, the various of layer displayed in the map window, so they constitute a map. And the map is started in the workspace, so the workspace must be saved after the map. So let's have a look. Okay, we can see the US workspace. It's the workspace, and the map, the US population density map. Okay, let's open the map. Okay, and the map is stored in workspace, but it's not stored in the dataset. Okay, okay, for the dataset, I will introduce you that important point. Let's open the data file and have a look. So we can see this is the US workspace. So we can see there also have the workspace and the dataset, the .udd and UDB suffix. The extension name is .udd and UDB. So the data source So the data size is don't have the physically file. It's physically stored in the data source. So the map is installed the workspace, and the data size is stored in the data source. So if we want to store this map, we must to store a workspace. Okay, next, the layout. A layout is composed of one or more multiple configured maps, as well as some auxiliary mapping elements such as map name, legend, map scale, and so on. So the layout is used to typeset and print the map, and we can add the scale and the legend and so many elements in the map. So a layout is physically stored in a file or the datasets through the workspace. Okay, there have the layout. No, they don't have the layout. So maybe I will find some data with the layout, and I will introduce you that. Okay. Next is resource. Results are collections of the symbol libraries used in the maps and signs. And results libraries contain the marker, line, and fill symbol libraries. Okay, let's take a look at the resource. Okay, double click the marker symbol library, and it will open the marker symbol selector. And we can choose some marker in this selector. There are so many There are so many marker in this selector, and in the left there have some group of the marker. Includes the basic symbol and click the city. Okay, we can see there are so many marker about the city in this group. So we can choose that in order to our needs. So that is the results. It started the symbol. It is the symbol library. And then the 3D sign. A 3D sign load 2D and 3D point, line, region, and text, image, and so on. So we can add a combination of two-dimensional and three-dimensional data into the 3D layer to organize a 3D sign. And so 3D sign is also stored in a file or database through the workspace. And I will introduce you the 3D sign in tomorrow. Yeah. And let's have a look 3D sign. Okay, and maybe some file you don't have because it's a little big. So this data is a data of our used in tomorrow. So maybe tomorrow we will give you this data about the making professional quality maps and organization 3D about the 3D data. So okay, let's have a look 3D sign. The workspace of the 3D sign. No, I don't want to start it. Okay. let's have the 3D sign. And I don't want to save this change. Okay. Let's see the group of the signs, and there are so many signs. And let's open the CBD sign and take a look. This is okay. That is CBD in the Beijing, and we can see that. And we can see it in the iDesktop. And okay, and also we can set the flight points, and we have the flight point, the flight, oh, the flight routes. Okay, let's have a look. 3D sign. Okay, let's flat. Okay, we can see that is a 3D sign in the iDesktop. It's combination the 3D data and 2D data, and it includes the point, line, region, and so many data sites. And 3D sign realizes the 2D and 3D integrated display and management. So this part I will introduce you in tomorrow, and you can also do that fly route in tomorrow. Okay, and this data I will be send you by the email, maybe in our afternoon or overnight. Okay, that's finished. Okay, so this part is getting started with the SuperMap iDesktop, and I introduce you some the basic function and work interface and data organization and basic operations. Okay, let's review it. Our data organization is it's a tree-like structure, and the workspace is corresponds the root node, and the child node is the data source, data map layout, sign, and so on. Okay, and about some basic operations, and I will introduce you in the next class. So, it's a 10:07. Oh, okay, and let's start it at a part of the next class, the import and the export data. So, we will have about 10 minutes to ask some questions in the end of our course. So, okay, so let's start it at the data import and export. And maybe our class will end it in the 10:30. Okay. Okay, let's start it with a part of the data import and export. Mm, 还想再讲一点，然后再让他们自己练。Okay, let's start it as the GIS data source. Data is the lifeblood of the GIS, and the acquisition of the GIS data is a primary task of the construction of the GIS system. So it's also one of the issues with the most cost of human and financial resource. So, okay, and this is the GIS data source, and it's divided for these categories. Includes map data, for example, the paper map and electronic map, the web map, and the remote sensing image data, and the field surveying data, for example, the GPS data, and the digital data, and the data from the statistical yearbook, and the tax report. So they are the GIS data source. And that is GIS. That is how to obtain the data and process the data. So the data gathering, we can download from the internet, or we can purchase from the data vendors, and we can collect and purchase from the government departments and field serving. So we can obtain the data from this method. And when we get some data, and we should do some processing of the data. For the paper map, we can scanning it and vectorization it. And for the electronic data, we should processing this data and extraction this data in the iDesktop platform, such as the SuperMap iDesktop. So first, let me introduce you how to import data of the other formats. And this is raster data and vector data. And raster data and vector data are the two most of basic data formats for the spatial data organization in geographic information system. And in addition to the SuperMap's own data format, it also supports the import of various external data files, just like the ArcGIS data files .shp format. So how to import this data? And for the vector data, and it includes the following formats, like the CAD general format and GIS general format, and the tabular data like the Excel file and CSV file. And for this file, we can import it to our SuperMap iDesktop. And then the raster data. It includes the general image format and a compression format. And for the raster data, we can import it or directly opening it. Oh, but if the raster data is opened directly, and some analysis function cannot be performed, so recommend you that so that all this data you should import it to our desktop. So there have some exercise to do, and I will do it for some Okay, the first exercise is import the image data. So I will do it for you, and in the next class, you should do this exercise and know how to import the data into the iDesktop. So please do it with me, and let's know how to import the data. So the first step is close the previous workspace, and we should create a new workspace. So this is a new workspace. Okay, so is everybody come with me to import the data? Okay, let's create a new data source. So right-click the data source. Right-click the data source and select the new file data source. Okay, and select data and select the file directory. Okay, I will find this directory and input the name of your file, and I will input import data. Okay, input the file name and select the directory of your data and click the save to save the data source. Okay, so we create a new data source in the iDesktop. So let's start it as import data. We have two methods to import data. The first method is right-click the data site, import data, and find the import data sites in there, import data site. Okay, and it will open the import data window, and we can find the button in the upper left corner, and there have the add file button. Click the add file button and find the import and export data, and let's do an example for you. Select the JPG, the image data. Okay, double click it and it will display in the window. So in the right, there are so many parameters we can choose. Okay, let's look at this. The first area is the result settings, and there is a target dataset. That is the dataset we choose. So this is the import data, and we can input the result data name. The data name we can do for you personally. So you can input any name you want, and encode tab. Okay, that is the tab of the encode, and there have the three methods we can choose, like the PNG, DCT, and LZW. And so in these examples, we choose the PNG, and there are two tabs two GPG file tabs we can choose. So we choose the image data tab file. And they also have the grid tab. If we import the grid file, we can choose it. And there have the import mode. Okay, the import mode. What does mean import mode? It have the three selections that is non-appended and overwrite. So what does mean the this three method about the non? So if the imported data has a name conflict with the existing data set, and the import data will automatically modify the name and import it. And the appended if there is a name conflict between the import data and existing data, and the import data will be appended to the existing data set with the same name. So it will import the data in the existing data set for the appended method. And for the overwrite method, if there are name conflict between the import data, and it will be first to overwrite the existing data set with the same name. Okay, so in this part we choose the non. Okay, the transformation parameters. We can choose the build image pyramid. So we can choose this chat box to improve the browsing efficiency. Okay, so we should choose that checkbox. And for the source file info, and this will remain the default. So let's try it. Import the data. Okay, we are successfully import the image data, and right-click the image data and add it to the new map. And we can find that we are successfully to import the image file to the iDesktop. Okay, so this is the simple operation to import the data. So in the next class, I will introduce you the next exercise, and in the end of the exercise, and this exercise imports the What Earth and export the data sets, and you should do it yourself. Okay, so this class it's finished, and let's have a rest, and we will come back in the 10:30 in my time 10:30, and let's have a rest for 10 minutes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. En 10 minutos, ¿verdad? Muy bien. Hay que cómo importar fotografías solitas, Luis.
Pues esta es una imagen muy perfecta, pero 下节课我就讲半个小时，然后剩下半个小时会。 Hi everyone. Hey everyone. Could you hear me? 会。下一节课，明天。Okay. Sorry. Let's start it at the data import. So, last class I import the image data in the iDesktop. So let's review it. And okay. First, we should create a workspace, and then we should create the data source. And I named it the import data. Okay, and right-click the import data and select the import data site and click the add field, and we can find the field that I prepared, and in the 05 JPG file. Okay, and choose the image.jpg, and in the right there are some parameters you can choose, and then we can click the import to import the image data. So that's the first method to import data. Okay, and then I will introduce you the second method to import data. Okay, and in the tab Start, we can click the Start tab and find the data processing, and there have the Import Data button. Okay, and I have introduced you the data formats of the iDesktop to import the data in the iDesktop. So in there we can see there have so many data sites, so many data formats we can import to the iDesktop, just like the ArcGIS or GDB, MapInfo, and so on. So we can click this import button, and it's the same as the first method. So this is the second method that we can import the data. Okay, and this is the supported formats. So where can we find this format? Click the add file, and in the extension name, there have so many extension name, and just like the CSV or the KML, and the 3D model includes OSGB or something else, or okay, and this is the data format that we can import. And then let's import the CAD format. Okay. This is the second method that we can import the data. Click the data import. So I have prepared the CAD data site named the lighting plan.dwg data. And let's start it to import the CAD data. Okay, so let's start it. Right-click the import data and find the import data site and click the add file. click the Add File. And we can find the 01 CAD file. Double click it and choose the lightning plan. Okay, in the right hand there have so many parameters we can choose. So first is a target data source. It's a import data. That is data set is installed in this data source. And we can input the result name of the data set. And this is the encode type. And there have the 4 types of the encode. And okay, pay attention for these parameters. The tab. There have 2 tabs. Includes the CAD and the simple dataset tab. And what's the difference of these 2 tabs? Let's have a look in the PowerPoint. Okay, there is a CAD format. The 2 tabs of the CAD format. Okay, for the CAD dataset. The result of the CAD dataset is the point line and region and so on are started together. So the CAD dataset is started together as the point line and region dataset. And for the simple dataset, they are stored sparingly. So, and for the original CAD style, and the CAD data size imported can import the original data CAD style, and the simple data sets can't import the original data CAD style, and the CAD data sites can't support the spatial analysis. And simple data size can support the spatial analysis. So let's take a look what's the difference of the CAD data size and the simple data size in the operation. Okay, so first we can choose the CAD tab. And the import mode in last class. In last class, I have introduced you the import mode. So, okay, and in this option, in this selection, we will choose the none. And there have the create spatial index. This word is index. Is that right? Yeah. In why is not display? Okay, maybe this is a create spatial index. It can improve the browsing efficiency. It's just like the create an image pyramid. In the last class, I have introduced you the create the image pyramid. It's just like the spatial index. So we can also check the import non datasets, but in this example we can choose it. Okay, in the below there have the transformation parameters we can choose. For example, we can import the symbol block or import the block attribute, and so many parameters you can choose in there. Okay, and we can set the style with the file. We can use the .stt file to set the style in the iDesktop. and we can and we click the import button, and we import the CAD dataset, and right click the CAD dataset and add it to new map. Okay, we can see this is the dataset. This is a CAD dataset. The CAD data size is stored these objects together, and it imports the CAD style, but it can't support the spatial analysis. So that is the CAD dataset. And let's have a try the simple dataset. We can use the second method to import data. Click the tab of the start and click the import data button and click add file and choose the lightning plan. Okay, and we can choose the tab of the simple data set and take a look how is a simple data set. Okay, we can see it's a sporadically import the point data size, line data size, and region data size. And let's choose these 4 data size and add them to a add to the new map. Okay, and add the CAD datasets to a new map, and we can compare these two type. The first is the CAD dataset, and the second is the simple dataset, and we can see the CAD datasets have its style. Right? In last class, I have introduced you the dataset style, and the point or line or region datasets it's not stored its style, but the CAD datasets start the style. So we can see if we add the symbol datasets to a new map again, and we can see it's changed style. So the CAD datasets can store its style. Okay, if we add it to a new window, it's the same style as the previous window. So the CAD dataset is stored the style. Okay, and the CAD dataset is successfully imported, and we can compression of these two tab, and okay, this compression. Okay, and next I will introduce you the vector data import. So okay, so maybe I hope everyone will come with me and do this operations. Okay, and if you have any question, and you can ask me in the end of class. I will remain the 30 minutes or to ask the question and do some exercise by yourself. Okay, and next, let's start it at vector data import. The vector data import includes so many tabs. includes the mapping for format or ArcGIS format or Map GIS format. Okay, so let's have an example of the .shp format. So this exercise imports the Shanxi. This is the province of the China, and import it into the target data source. Okay, let's start it to import the SHP format. Okay, the first step is right-click the import data and choose the import data site and click the add file. And the .shp file is in the 02 shp. And we can choose the shanxi.shp. Okay, in the right, there have the many parameters we can choose. It's a similar parameters is target data source and result data site, and encode tab, and report mode. It's all of this we remain it by default, and okay, and there are the import non-data and import 3D data site. So all of these parameters we should remain it by default. And for the transformation parameters, the import attributes. So if we check this, select this checkbox, and it will import the attribute. Okay, and check this, and import the .shp file, and right-click the Shanxi and add to the new map. Okay, we can see that is the .shp file, and it's successfully imported. And we can right-click this data site and browse attribute table. Yeah, and just we have the import the we have select the chat box of the attribute table, and we can see there it's attribute table. Okay, and okay, we are successfully to import the .shp file. Okay, this is .shp file, and next we will import the attribute table. That is the .csv file and Excel file. Okay, and there are two functions of attribute files. We can convert it into the point data sets through the import spatial data. Yeah, and we can through the latitude and longitude to import it to a point file and associate it with other spatial data sites. So, let me have a look. This is another exercise. So, let's start with the step 1. Step 1, import the Excel file. Okay, there are two attention to pay, and the first is we should check the first row as filled info, and the second is import spatial data. Okay, let's start with the Excel file, the attribute table file. Okay, right-click the import dataset and click the import data size, and click the add file, and click the Excel, the 03. The file name is Excel, and we should import the building coordinates. Select the building coordinates. Okay. There are parameters in the right. And the first is the target data source and result data set. Okay, pay attention to these two areas. The first is transformation parameters. There has a chat box named first row as a field info. If your attribute table has the first row and its information is field info, you should select this chat box. Okay, and our Excel, the first row of our Excel is field info. And then import spatial data. If we choose that chat box, and we can import it through the coordinate to, and we can convert it into the point data set. So we can choose this the longitude as the x coordinate and the latitude as the y coordinate, and that is the z value. If you have the z value, it's your height, and you can choose that selector. And okay, these two parameters is important, and we can select the import to see is it successfully. Okay, right click this dataset and add it to the new map. You can see there the attribute table that we imported as a point dataset. And we can right click this dataset and browse attribute table. And we can see okay, there the building name. Oh, this building name is Beijing, the set scene of the Beijing. Okay, and let's take a look the data of the Excel. Let's check is this import completely? Choose the Excel and building coordinates. Okay, let's check these two fail. Okay, it's a successful way to import the attribute table, and it includes the building name and x coordinates and y coordinates, which is latitude and longitude. Okay, and we can see that the SM ID, SM user ID, and SM geometry is set by the system by default. Yeah. Okay, and this is how to import the attributes table just like the Excel file or .csv file. Okay, and then there have another exercise about the import the Excel file. So if we have the two Excel file, and which is the building coordinate, and as well as its spatial data, and another file is the building code, and we want to appending appended its building code into the former datasets, which is building coordinates, and how to do it. Okay, and in this operation, we should use a function that's the dataset append column. So let's have a try for this exercise. Okay, so first we should import the building coordinate, and then we should import the another coordinate code. So let's have a look like the building code. Double click it and check this attribute table. Okay, this includes the building name and building code, and we want to import these two files and append it in the iDesktop. So how we can do? Okay, first close this window and import the another file, building code. Right click the import data and choose the import data site and click the add file button. Okay, now we should import the building code. Double click it. Okay, the first row is the field information. So we should select this checkbox, and we don't have the coordinates in this file, so we shouldn't check this import spatial data, and we can directly import it. Okay, and we can right click this attribute table and see. Okay, it's successfully imported. There have the building name and building code. So next step, we want to attend these two files, and how to do it. Okay, pay attention. The first step is find the data tab and find the data processing group and click this drop button and find the appended column. Yeah, this function is add the column of the source data size to the target data size. So let's check the requirements. Okay, it's import the building code to the building coordinate. So we should choose the building coordinate and click the append column. Okay, there are open the dataset append column, and for the target data, we should choose the building coordinate, and for the source data, we should choose the building code. So for the target data, we choose the building coordinate, and for the join field, we should choose the field or sim with the source data. Okay, it is mean that okay, we close this window. Let's have a look at this two attributes table, and their building name is same. Right, their building name is same, so the join field should join the same field. So we should choose the building name as the join field. Choose the coordinate and choose the building name to be the join field, and the source data we can choose the building code, and the join field is also the building name, and then we should choose the append field. So we want to add the building code to the building coordinate. So we just choose the append field as the building code. Okay, so click OK to do this operation. Okay, and let's check with the building coordinate. Right-click the building coordinate and browse the attribute table. Okay, there is a building code from the building code attribute table, and now it's added to the building coordinate dataset. Okay, this is the exercise of the import the building code and append its building code into the former dataset. Okay, let's okay, and then let's start it as a raster data import. And for the last class, we import the image file, includes the .jpg file, and in this exercise, and we will import the world earth.tif file into the target data source. And for this file, and I wanted to so in this exercise and the next exercise, I want to do it by yourself, and you should feel how to import the data to the iDesktop. So in the next is export SuperMap data to other format. So where is that function? I will introduce you to it. For example, if you want to export the lightning planar, you should right-click this dataset, and there have the export dataset. And we can export it by so many types of files, like the CAD file or ArcGIS shape file or another file. So you can do it yourself and fill it. Okay, so the next 25 minutes, it's our Q&A section, and do some exercise section. And if you have any question about the last class, the last 3 class, you can feel free to ask me. Okay, so if you have any question, you can just directly say it. And right, is the Zoom can send the image? Zoom, no. Okay. 可以。Oh, excuse me, and could you pardon it? Could you repeat it? We are not.
topografía de Lupa dile cómo importar un ejemplo.
他们有没有那个目录？
什么什么路
有没有那个说明书？就是如何
help documentation? Is that an example or
有一个说明书能就是import export 数据。
可是他为啥说的是 simple data 呀？是 is this a simple data or the help documentation? So, if you ask the simple data, it's simple data is in our website. You can get it. Simple data, and the today's data we will email to you. Send the email to you, and if you want the simple data, you can download with the support tab on the. Okay, did you see the sample data or the help documentation? The help documentation. Okay. Manual. 那个英文的 documentation 在哪？我只知道9D 的。help 文档。Okay. We have sent it to you by email. No. Help document. An example. Oh. 他说 example 要发给他。
他们刚才我听了，他们想要通讯方面的一个安排。
通讯。想要通讯。通讯 is mobile 是
telecommunication.
So they are okay. In the simple date, we can share to you, but another date maybe we can't. Yeah. We just can share you to the iDesktop simple data, and another data maybe is for us is a secret. Okay, and maybe you can ask the Leticia. Okay, you can ask the Leticia, and she will send you it. Leticia, yeah. Okay. Okay, and have you done these two exercise? Okay, if you have done the exercise by yourself, and you can share your screen. Okay, you can share your screen. Yeah, if you have done the exercise. Okay. 共享屏幕呢 ？Okay, let's.
Can you give me rights to share my screen, please?
Okay, okay. Wait a moment. I will check. Okay, I have done I have give you the right to share the screen, so you could try it.
Let me check.
Okay.
It says you have to share your screen, please.
Oh, okay. Okay. Stop my.
So here you have my screen. The first building automation.
Okay. Okay. Have you? Okay. Good. Great. And have you done the last exercise? Import the TF data. Oh. Okay. Okay. You can try it by yourself, and you can try it. Okay. And if anybody have any question or have done the last two exercise, the last two exercise is import the TIF file.
I already made it. The second one, I can see what is I think is export CSV and another one.
Oh yeah. Is it? Okay. Good. Great. Oh, and have you export the data? Oh, okay.
It's from this map.
Yeah. Export. Yes. Okay. And you can choose the type of the export data, or in the export type, you can double click. Yeah. You can choose the ArcGIS. Yeah, you can choose whatever you want. Yeah. Yeah. Safe. Yes, you can. Export. Okay. No, it's a reference file. Yeah, you can export. And you can check this file.
You are seeing my screen?
No. Oh yeah. Oh, it's okay.
Can check the properties.
Oh, GPG. Yeah, excellent. Thank you. Oh. Oh, yeah, that's it. Okay, excellent, and thank you so much. Thank you, and could everybody have some question or have done the exercise? Okay, and I will, let's do it. Okay. I will do it for you guys, and maybe the first exercise is right click and import the T file. Yeah, and you can select the parameters if you need. And yeah, it will be remain by default, and we can add to a new map and look at the TIF file. Okay, and the export is right click the dataset and export the whatever file you want. Maybe we can select the PNG file and export it to look at. Oh, where my export TF, no, export to data or autopurposes. Okay, there are the PNG file, and it's a successfully export the file. So today's class introduce the GIS family and introduce the desktop, and import data and export data is finished. And tomorrow we will introduce you the coordinate system in the GIS software and the data registration and making professional quality maps and organization and application of 3D data. So this is the course of the tomorrow. So about the data we will send you by the email maybe in our afternoon. Okay, and today's class is finished. Okay, and thank you everyone. Thank you. Have a good night. Oh yeah, I have recording it, and we will send it to you or to the YouTube. Maybe YouTube. We will send it to YouTube. Okay. Thank you. Have a good night. Okay. Bye bye.